Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. You already know the name. You know who I am. It's not this channel and program are likely going to be coming up under a name change soon. I just feel like that's where God is leading me. We all know what we're sick of. We know, for the most part, what's going on, who's doing it. What we need to focus on is not what we're sick of, but what we can do about it. First thing that I want to go into is I have, in the last month or so, got a young Puerto Rican fella on third shift working with me. Turned out to be a great employee. A little slow to learn, but I'm working with him. God's going to get us where we need to go. At any rate, he was telling me not too long ago about a conversation that he had with some Cuban fellas, and they were telling him that the situation there has gotten so bad that children, he didn't say exactly how young, but children are actually offering themselves to adults to provide sexual favors, not for money, but for food. That's how bad that it's gotten in Cuba. And no doubt there are a lot of places throughout this world that it's gotten that bad as well. Now, I don't know with any degree of certainty that it's going to get that bad here, but I got a feeling that it will. And I don't think that it's going to be too much longer. I'm thinking maybe not past the end of the year. Do I know that? No, I don't know that. Do I feel like God is saying that to me? No. I'm going according to what I see and what I'm hearing. And it looks like it could get that bad that quick. If it doesn't that fast, I've got a feeling it's going to at some point within the next year. So my advice is keep your children nearby if you can, and know with no uncertainty where they are and who they're with at all times. And warn your children if you have grandchildren. Tell them about this. Share this video. Now, after saying that, I want to say this. This I do feel is coming from God. The two biggest enemies that we have in this country and throughout the world for that matter is anger. Well, three, I would say: anger, bitterness, and hate. Those are the biggest enemies of humanity. And it is unfortunate that all three of them seem to be running rampant, not only in this country, but throughout the world. And nothing good can come of that. Absolutely nothing good can come of that. Now, I was praying recently, as I do daily, and working where I work, dealing with the kinds of people that I had to deal with on a nightly basis. I was just being honest with God when I told him, he said, how do you expect me to care about these people and about their well-being when I don't even like them? I really don't want to have to even deal with them at all. And I didn't really get an answer for that right away. But he just keeps bringing the scriptures back to me. And I'm kind of having a dilemma. Because there's this one passage of scripture, of course it was talking to slaves, and hopefully there aren't any more at this point, at least not in this country. But the same passage applies to people who work for a living and get paid for their work. Where it says, obey your masters. No, they're not really your masters, but they are your bosses. And you kind of have to do what they say. So when corporate laid down the rule that we can no longer buy food and beverages for the homeless people because they feel that it just encourages them to keep coming back and stealing, which it probably does, I felt like I was having a real dilemma there because Christ came right out and said that whatever we do for the very least of the people in our society, we have done for Him. And what we do not do for them, we are not doing for Him. And He told us very plainly what He would tell us on the final day if we do not do for them what He told us to do. And He said, whatever you do for the very least of these, you have done for me. And He said that if we do, that He will call us His good and faithful servant and ask us and tell us to enter into heaven. But if we don't, He also made that very clear. He will call us a worker of iniquity and tell us that He never knew us. Depart. And we know, well, we're going to be forever eternally separated from God, and that's not something that I want, for sure. I don't think it's anything that you want either. So He showed me what I can do. They said I can't give anything out of the store, which is fine. I wasn't giving anything for free anyway. But they told me I can't buy anything for them from out of the stores. So, I've got trail mix, big bags of trail mix, 1 pound bags, in my van. So, instead of sending these people away hungry, I go out to my van, I just get them a bag of trail mix, and I tell them the truth. This is the best I can do for you. You can't come back in the store. I can't buy anything for you from out of the store, but I can do this. So, when you're faced with a dilemma because you think that you're seeing it in the Word, God will always make a way for you to work His will. He'll show you how you can do it and not be getting yourself in trouble or doing anything that you've been told you can't do that could jeopardize your job or jeopardize any other aspect of your life. So just keep in mind, instead of being angry, bitter, and hateful towards people, whether they're in the lower spots of society or the higher spots, because those are doing a whole lot more damage than the homeless people are when you get down to the truth of it. Those people up in the authority figures, and they're the ones that have caused all this problem with the homeless people. But hating isn't going to do us any good. It's not. Ain't going to do us any good at all. Nothing good can come from any of the anger, bitterness, and hatred. Loving people where they are, just like God does, is going to get us where we need to go. Throwing our arms around people and loving them when they're willing to let us will get us a whole lot further than the opposite. So, with having said all that, till next time, Mr. Sick of Shit, signing out.